Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Barrows. I'm 22. I'm from North Carolina. I'm making this video today because I've always had a passion for gaming. Ever since I got my first Game Boy when I was about 7 years old, I started building my interest in video games till now. I'm 22 and am someone who's really interested in joining the discussion in a bigger way than just tweeting at random video game commentators. And I felt now is a better time as any, now with E3 2016 basically upon us. Today, June 12th, 2016, right now it's about 6:45 at Eastern Standard Time. We already experienced the EA Play conference that took place in Los Angeles as well as London, England today. And I have to say that I was very uninterested with the entire conference as a whole. It almost made me question why they made such a big deal of this year to have their own personal conference instead of being at E3 amongst other developers and other publishers, because for them to focus so much on themselves and then really show up with little to nothing is very interesting to me from a business perspective. And it's not that they showed up with nothing, obviously, but me personally, I came away from that conference a little lacklusterly interested, if that's even a word. I mean, they started off the conference pretty strong with talking about Titanfall 2. Titanfall was a game that I got when I got my Xbox One about 2 years ago. It was a very cool idea that I got to experience, and I thought it was a nice alternative for me from like a Battlefield or Call of Duty, because I'm not really a core multiplayer shooter gamer. I would be much more casual in that regard, but I looked at Titanfall and I saw that, okay, so it's somewhat limited in terms of its gunplay, or at least its guns that it had. It's somewhat limited in terms of the Titans that you could have, because it only had about 3 different ones. So maybe I could be on a more even playing field. But at the same time, it's a multiplayer only online shooter where you're limited in your customization aspects, and really the longevity of the game was not quite there for its core audience. And I certainly didn't stick around to play very long, and I can tell you that most competitive gamers probably didn't either. And I can't say I blame them. Now, with the introduction of a single player aspect to the game, I mean, I can say, okay, I'm a little more interested, because now I'm not forced to have to suck compared to some person on the other side of the world. I can hold my own, hopefully, on one of the moderate difficulty settings against the AI. But hopefully, with the expansion of the gun customization, with the expansion of the number of Titans that you can use at your disposal, I believe they said there's 7 more, and I don't know if that means there's 7 in total or if there's 7 in addition to the 3 original, making it a total number of 10. I'm not quite certain on that, but I can say that an expansion of its features is something that it certainly needs, and hopefully the positives that they already had, which was pretty solid gameplay, fluid motion mechanics, good shooting, if they got that right, I can't see why this game wouldn't be a success, except for the fact that they're putting it a week off from the release of Battlefield 1. And Battlefield 1 was now the game that they ended their conference on, and they showcased a new trailer for it. They're talking about more information on that, and I have to say I'm very interested. The fact that they're taking a war game, one of the core franchises when it comes to multiplayer shooters, and putting it in an unfamiliar setting is something that's, again, I'm using this word fresh. It is refreshing to see them not just go in that same direction that Call of Duty is, where it's basically now looking just like it's Halo. I mean, even I look at the trailer for Infinite Warfare with the ship that goes into space for the space combat, and I keep thinking, didn't Halo Reach do that almost over a half a decade ago? Like, it's just very odd to me to see Call of Duty's thinking. I mean, obviously it's going to sell, it's going to be great, but at the end of the day, is that what people really want? We'll see. YouTube likes and dislikes aren't really the best indicator of where we are in terms of success financially. One of the biggest disappointments of the conference for me had to have been the, 4 minutes they mentioned Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, I'm someone who's been playing Mass Effect since 2008. I begged my parents, in spite of Fox News trying to destroy the good name of Mass Effect by saying, oh, well, there's sexual content in the game. You're letting our kids have it. Well, again, it was rated M for mature, so if people are dumb enough to buy their kids a game with sexually explicit content, and then at the second they see a Fox News report have apprehensions about it, well, that was on them for not researching their purchase. But I enjoyed the game. It was amazing. The RPG mechanics, I'm one of the few that even said, hey, the Mako wasn't that bad, but that's a very unpopular opinion. And the fact that they came out in June and said, oh, they started before even the trailer launched saying, oh, more information in fall. More information in fall. It's June and you're at what's the equivalent of an E3 press conference. If you're going to showcase the game, showcase the game. Just don't say, oh, I like Mass Effect. You like Mass Effect? Well, here's a dev diary. Who cares? I mean, who cares? And then they did the same thing with Star Wars, the second biggest disappointment of the day, because everything they said was something we knew. We knew about Visceral. We knew about Remedy. We've already experienced the Old Republic. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, we've already experienced that. And Battlefield? Yes, they're making a new Battlefield. Did they say anything more about it? Nope. But here's new content for the current one that's been a disappointment. Not saying it's bad, just saying that, from what I've heard, a lot of people are unhappy with how Battlefront, I apologize, has been handled. So, me being a huge Star Wars fan who's psyched to hear more about these third-person games, these first-person RPG games, the fact that you're giving me a 2018 time frame when at a conference in 2016 is taking place, I'm a little concerned. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that aspect. So overall, looking at EA's Play conference, not impressed. It was the cure for insomnia. Usually I have trouble sleeping. If I just think about that hard enough tonight, I'm sure I'm going to get a nice rest before work tomorrow. And I hope you all do too. And you'll see that I don't talk about sports games because I'm not one who plays them literally at all. So for me to talk about it would be for me to start critiquing something that I have no investment in, as well as something that I don't know a lot about. So if I did so, well, I would just be disappointing you, the viewer, because I'm adding nothing of substance to the conversation, and I wouldn't want to do that. So, thank you all for watching. Again, I'm Brian Barrows. Also, you can find me at Twitter at Killadragons, which is KILLADRAGONS. Hit me up there. I would love to hear what you'd think of my first video. What can I do better? I'm sure it's a lot, because I have no video editing experience, and I have very little talent in front of a camera. So, thank you for watching. Hope you made it this far. And if you did, I hope you have a great day. If you didn't, still hope you had a great day. But goodbye, and I'll see you next time.